Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And we are back. Actually, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I had a little bit of an on air meltdown. You all calmed me down. And we are back to talk about Sheryl Underwood, Sharon Osbourne, the racism claims, the fallout over Piers Morgan, and how people came out afterwards, and how I feel that we as Black people need to do a better job. I'm going to show, when discussing racism with European Americans, Europeans, etc., right? Because there's a lot of nuance to it, and I feel like we end up losing the war for diddling around in these little battles. And I think that we have to come at it from a larger, more strategic perspective. I'm going to show you clips from Sheryl Underwood and Sheryl Osbourne on the talk. I'm actually even going to come out and show you some footage from Piers Morgan, because one of the things that Sharon kept demanding was that that Sheryl show her something that Piers Morgan did that is racist. That is where I think we lose a lot of the battles by able to support our claims. So I'm going to show you that. Holly Robinson Peete came out and said that she was called to ghetto by Sharon Osbourne. And so we're going to uncover and unpack a lot of videos in this one. And this is why it was really important for us to have our audio together in the last video. So I want to thank all of you who sent positive, uplifting messages, just attempting to, to just get me recentered. I want to give a thank you to a young lady who sent me a Cash App during that whole debacle. Ayana, she sent $20 and she said that she loved me. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I think part of what is so frustrating for me, and was so frustrating in that last video, is that we content creators, we really don't get paid for certain types of videos. When you're talking about racism or controversial topics or things that make people uncomfortable, they don't pay you. And so you end up doing a lot of work, investing in a lot of equipment, investing your time and editing and republishing and all of this other stuff on videos that you don't get paid for. And that to me is very frustrating. And I was very angry about that earlier. I had a little bit of a meltdown, but you all assisted in just the positive words of upliftment and affirmation and stuff, because it is very difficult. It's difficult. It's like what they expect of us is, as vloggers, is ridiculous. We carry this platform. Vloggers carry this platform, and we have carried this platform for years, but at any moment they wipe their behinds with us. I just came off of 30 days of suspension from Facebook. I don't talk about this publicly, and we're going to jump into the video, and I'm sorry for the segue in the beginning, because I know I hate that when other vloggers do it. But in 2020, I only got paid 3 months out of the year on Facebook. I was on 3 90-day suspensions. That's 9 months. I don't talk about this publicly, but there's a lot of pressure to create content that you feel passionately about, that YouTube is going to share, and that people are going to watch. And YouTube determines who is going to be successful on this platform with the algorithm that they set up. And at the tail end of the like my grandmother used to say, the SHITTY part of the stick, the shitty end of the stick ends up in Black women's hands, because there's a lot of things that we just can't really talk about. And I don't blame other female vloggers for going ghost during this time, because like I said, these YouTube streets have been very dry for the past few months. And I don't blame us for not showing up, because we carry this platform and they don't support us. They don't support us. So I appreciate you all. You all support me direct from the horse's mouth, direct from the people's hands. You all support me with the Cash Apps that you send, and buying my book, and being monthly subscribers to my platform. And the links to all of that is below. You all support me. So when I create a post talking about Black women deserve love without suffering first, and other mother effers come forward trying to put me in my place, I say, no, you must not know who. Let me calm down. Let me calm myself down. I say, no, you must not know who are the people who truly, truly show up. It's like people want to use Black women to ride on Black women's backs. And the moment, this is what did Carol's daughter in. how Black women brought her to fame. And then when all was said and done, she had some redheads with straight European hair up inside of her doggone advertisements. And where is she now? Carol's daughter's gone. I'm still here. I know who supports me and I know who butters my bread. So thank you, Black women, for always showing up. That sounded very aggressive, didn't it? I could have said that in a nicer way. Thank you, sisters, for always showing up for me. And this is why I create the content that you all send to me. People criticize me. Why do you make these videos? Why do you make my audience demands it of me? You all are the ones who send the videos to me that I comment on. So thank you, sisters, for showing up, showing out, coming out, participating. All right. I didn't mean to go into all of that. Okay. I meant to just come out and talk about this debacle, this boondoggle with Sharon Osbourne and her messy ASS, and how I wish that she was. Look, I'm going to show this to you right now without further ado. And thank you, ladies, for having your notifications on so that when I go live, that you all are always there. You know who you are in the comments because you show up each and every day on your lunch break while you're at work with one headphone in, giggling as you type on the computer. You know who you are. You know who you are, the ones who go to sleep to my voice, who drive in the cars, who work out to what it is that we're doing here. Thank you. Thank you. And when I have events, you come out, you're on my mailing list. Thank you. Thank you to the people who contribute monthly, even though I don't get a chance to even come out and thank you. You still each and every month have that $9.99 or the $19.99 or the $29.99 coming out of your bank account because you believe in what it is that we're doing here. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go forward. Okay. All right. Jody saying, even when in the doctor's office. I know that's right. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you all know who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you all know who you are. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And even though I'm the one here posting the comments and reading the comments and all of that, and I'm glad that I'm able to do this while I can. So when I do have the big studio, if that ever comes, if that's in the cards and somebody else is now controlling the comments, just know here and now that no matter what happens, I love you. I love you all. You have supported me and gotten me this far. When I was in my car, living in my car, I raised $12,000 in 7 days. And to this day, people are still angry about that. How dare you? When I did my GoFundMe, nobody contributed. Because it's like we have this relationship where we give, and I gave and gave for 8 years. And when you all had the opportunity to help, you did. And there's this sign on this church in the neighborhood where I grew up on that said, I give because I have because I give, therefore I am never without. And when I had, I gave, and when you all had, you gave. And we give to one another. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do all of this. Okay, let's jump into the video. All right, you all ready? Let's go. All right.
So I really would like to know, because I've been knowing you for years since I've been here, and I've never seen anything come out of you other than, if I don't know, I'm willing to learn. If it comes off a certain way, I stand corrected.
Right.
That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who may feel that you, while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist? Even if you don't agree, am I saying it right?
Okay, I don't know what he's uttered that's racist. I'm not trying to slide out of this one.
Right.
I don't know. Tell me, what has he uttered that's racist?
Wednesday's episode of The Talk got intense as Sheryl Underwood confronted her co-host Sharon Osbourne for supporting Piers Morgan after he made controversial comments towards Meghan Markle following her sit-down interview with Oprah. Throughout the conversation, Sharon became very defensive over her friendship with Piers and even lashed out at Sheryl. Take a look.
I feel even like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because I have a friend who.
Okay, so I wanted to stop this here, and I wanted you all to pay close attention to this because a lot of people do things like this. Some of us do things like this. And if you are a person who does this, I implore you to stop with this super exaggeration with the whole, one, just shoot me now. Oh, I'm going to be put in the electric chair. Oh, kill me now. Why don't you just kill me? Some of our mothers have done this, and we in turn do this to other people, where we have these over exaggerated responses to push people back when we feel uncomfortable. So some of us will be like, Mom, when we were growing up, there were some things that you did that didn't resonate with me, and I felt hurt by some of those things. And your mother will turn back around and be like, I was a terrible mother. Just put me in an old folks home when I get old. Don't even put me in an old folks home. Just toss me down into the grave with my wheelchair. And they just go off. And it's like you get punished for bringing something up. And so some of us do this. And I implore you that if you are one of the people who does do this, I implore you to please stop. Because you don't want to create an environment where people are not able to come and talk to you. You don't want to penalize people for opening up and having tough conversations with you. It's already tough enough to confront a person, especially if you're a woman. It's already tough enough to get into an uncomfortable conversation. So create the space for that. And what Sharon is doing right here is penalizing Sheryl for speaking up with this whole electric chair business. Well, what electric chair? There's no electric chair. No one is murdering you. It's like, please calm down. And it's like, stop this mess. Stop this. And you see, we say, goodness says my mother did that. If your mother or your father or one of your parents did that and you grew up in that household, I implore you to get therapy, because if this existed in your life before the age of 9, there were things that were programmed into you that you feel are normal and that you grew up with as normal. I implore you to get therapy because that programming is there, and your natural instinct will be to use some of those tactics. You may not use the ones that were most hurtful or painful to you. You'd be like, I'll be different. However, there will be some of the tactics that you will use. And so I implore you to think about some of the complaints that you've gotten from people who care about you. If you've heard those complaints over and over again from different people, look into getting some assistance. Because I'm going to be a little open with you all right here. And I know there's a lot of people here from a lot of different channels. Something along the lines of something like this happened to me when I was in a live broadcast, and there were many people that identified with that manipulative behavior. And there were people who identify with it because to them that's normal. Using your tears to garner sympathy from other people, empathy from other people, and to shift the conversation now to taking care of you instead of the subject at hand. You know what I mean? Wild exaggerations. And this is why I say I implore us to get the help that we need so that we are not those people showing up in conversations with our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our husbands, or our children. Okay? Okay. I mean, you all know what let's go forward.
Who many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. And for me, at 68 years of age, to have to turn around and say, I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me? Okay, how can I be racist?
There was some curse words there they cut out.
How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Well, I tell you,
what?
We'll be right back.
What?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
And so she was dropping some F-bombs there. And you see, Sheryl was trying to be professional and shift away from the onslaught that she was getting from Sharon Osbourne. And she's like, well, what? Well, what? And she was just going off on her, dropping F-bombs, then upping the ante, attempting to get a reaction, a response, something back from Sheryl so that she could feel justified in her attack and her onslaught. Let's continue watching. I want you to just take note. This is manipulation 202.
I will ask you again, Sheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break.
Right.
I'm asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
Okay, so you see, this is where Sheryl made her big mistake. Don't come out and accuse somebody of aligning with a person who's racist and you don't have the ability to point to the racism. So what I'm going to do is, after this clip, I'm going to show you some problematic things that Piers Morgan has done, which will have you scratching your head. And then I'm going to tell you how to respond to the situation. I didn't give my intro in the beginning. So for those of you who are new here, forgive listen. We don't typically go veer off course in the beginning of the video. I am Tanya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self-loving looks like, what loving yourself looks like in a relationship. And if you're in a relationship with a Caucasian person who is not or is acting unaware about what racism is, you're going to have to do one of two things, and we'll talk about that. As you know, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist with a specialty in relationship coaching, and I am I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I'm a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. So let's go. Let's look at the rest of this, because this is difficult to watch.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a Black woman, and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me. I'm saying for me. I thought I was asking a question about the perception for other people. That's why I prefaced it with, I've never heard you utter anything racist, but I have felt that Piers was racist in his stance against Meghan Markle. And the last time he was on this show, I said as much. I said it when he was on this show.
And what was his answer to you?
He didn't feel that it was racist. He didn't feel that the racial statements that he was making were racist. But I was talking to him.
Okay, answer me this one.
Listen.
Okay, because I don't know. I don't understand. If he doesn't like someone, and I think this is for everybody who is born white, if Piers doesn't like someone and they happen to be Black, does that make him a racist?
No.
That's a no.
No.
Right. So why can't it be he just doesn't like her? Why does it have to be racist?
It's almost like, oh, I'm sorry, Sheryl.
No, you go
It's
ahead.
almost like yesterday when you were talking, Mrs. O, it sounded like he was really upset about, what you were saying is a royalist. Like he is just so deep into
he is.
honoring the crown and honoring, and do I agree with what he said? No, like you.
No, I
Do
don't
I
agree.
think he should have walked off set? No. Do I think he should have sat there and listened to his other co-hosts like we're doing right now and having a conversation and learning from each other? I think that's what corrective evolution is about.
All right, so we heard that now, right? We all heard that. And so she did mention, oh, when he was here, I told him I thought he was a racist, and and what was his response? That's not a fair, is it not a fair question to ask? What has he said that's racist? Is it not fair to say, okay, well, if he doesn't like a person, right, and they happen to be Black, does that make him a racist? I think that these are poignant questions. I'm going to play something for you all. I'm going to jump this into the middle of this because I want you to hear from this person, Gina Yashere. You all sent this to me. A lot of you sent this to me because you felt that her voice needed to be heard. However, there's problems in what it is that she's saying. And I want you to take a listen.
I feel even like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because I have
okay,
a friend
hold on. Let's go.
Many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. And for me,
hold on, I need to skip forward because she starts talking about midway through. And let's get to the end of it. Okay, so I want you all to just hear her position, and a lot of you agreed with this. A lot of you agreed with what she's saying, but I do not agree, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let's go.
Piers was racist in his stance against Meghan Markle, and the last time he was on this show, I said as much.
This is going to be quick because I'm done talking about Harry and Meghan and Piers Morgan for a while, but I saw the video doing around of Sharon Osbourne crying on TV. Let me just say one thing. White women, if you want to be educated about your privilege and racism, there are many blogs, articles, and books written by Black authors that have everything that you need to know in there. Everything you need to know. It's all out there. Just go do it. Just go find it. It's not that hard. For you to sit there on TV crying and demanding a Black woman to educate you on racism is the height of caucasity and entitlement. You know, when white women cry, everybody wants to gather around them and hug them and tell them it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, love. It's going to be all right. And this is why you get Black people having the police call on them for drinking water, for barbecuing, for sleeping, for walking, for running, for not running. You hear a white woman crying on the other end of the phone, the police are coming out, guns drawn. So tears are weapons coming from white women's faces. You lot need to know that. So don't use that on TV against somebody who you call your friend. So for Sharon Osbourne to be crying, demanding this Black woman to educate her, and then telling this Black woman, you shouldn't be the one that's crying. Don't try and cry. This is my crying. I'm supposed to cry because I'm the white woman and I am the victim. Is fucking outrageous. And all those ridiculous protestations. I couldn't be racist. How could I be racist? I'm sure Amy Cooper said that shit before she called the police on a black bird watcher. I'm sure she voted for Obama too. Sharon Osbourne owes Sheryl Underwood an apology on behalf of all the Black women that have been gaslit in this way in the past. Do better, Sharon. Do better.
Do better, Sharon. Do better. Okay, so that is one. I want to play the other clip for you all. So let's get that queued up. That's a woman. Her name is Gina Yashere. Oh, I'm sorry. Yashere. Her name is Gina Yashere. She's a comedian from England, and she lives in Los Angeles, so she knows a lot about what's going on in America. And she was talking on this, and you all sent me another one of her clips that I want to play for you all so that you can see. Because I think that this is not the right approach, right, in this case, right? And I'm gonna tell you all why after we play this, okay? So this is not the right thing, is it? Oh yes, this is it right here. But will it play in this window? It will. All right, just give it a moment to load up. Come through, internet, come through.
It's 7:30 in the morning. I just woke up, but I didn't sleep that well because I was still furious about the whole Sharon Osbourne thing. I know I shouldn't let this stuff get to me, but as a Black woman, it's so infuriating and it's tiring. This is the epitome of white privilege. This woman gets to sit on her TV show and cry and shout down, talk over, gaslight, and attempt to humiliate a fellow host, and there will be no repercussions. Imagine had those roles been reversed.
Mm-hmm.
If Sheryl Underwood had done the same thing to Sharon Osbourne, Sheryl Underwood would not have a job on television this morning. And that's a fact standard. That is the epitome of white privilege right there. Sheryl had to be calm in the face of Sharon Osbourne's tantrum, in the face of her horrendous behavior. Because you know Sheryl wanted to drag her by her highlights. But she can't. And that is what Black women go through every day in the workplace. Every single day. We always have to constantly be calculating and thinking what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, to not come over too aggressive or too angry. Whereas Sharon could be free in her anger, free in her aggression, free in her gaslighting, while she demands a Black woman to educate her on racism. I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to say it again after this. White women, stop expecting Black women to educate you. Go and educate yourselves. We are no longer your mammies. Get off our tits.
All right. So there we have it. Right? So I'm going to tell you what I think is a little problematic about this, because there were a lot of you who agreed with this, right? I feel like the narrative is being switched. Sharon did not ask Sheryl to educate her on what racism is. She asked Sheryl a direct question. What has Piers done which is racist? What did he say when you confronted him about being a racist? And I think that we need to be able to answer these questions. If you're accusing a person of being a racist, you better have examples. It waters down our point. It waters down the proliferation of it if we cannot show or express why we feel a person is a racist. And so I'm going to show you some clips from Piers, some brief clips that I found while I was just doing a preliminary search. So I'm going to play those for you right now. And I want to get some of your feedback. Right? Taffeta is saying, I agree with you. I officially love this woman's message. We'll be following Gina now. Do that. Follow your sisters, right? Somebody said they took the view off the air or the talk. Which one? Yes, hit the like button, hit those thumbs up. So absolutely. I think we have to do better ourselves when calling a person out their name. Like Tucker Carlson, if you call Tucker Carlson a racist, there's plenty of examples of his racist words, both on the air and before in the past, that will substantiate the claim. But don't just go calling somebody something and not be able to say, well, this is the reason that I feel that you or someone else is a racist. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're just complaining or whining or whatever. So let's listen, right? So this is Piers Morgan talking about stop and frisk. So forgive me because I do not have Good Morning Britain or Good Day Britain, whatever it is, right? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the clip of I have it all. Here we go. Defending Piers. Oh, you know what? I forgot to play the part for Holly Robinson Pete. So I got to go to my tab. What is the tab? Are absent fathers partially to blame for the rise in knife? Here we go. This is it right here. Okay. So this is a clip from Piers Morgan. I have it queued up for you all. Listen to what Piers says. So this guy right here feels that people should be stop and frisk, that the underprivileged youth programs already have enough. So this guy on the left, they already have enough funding, but we need more police presence, et cetera. And this Black guy used to be some sort of official in the area, right? And as the official, he had access to trying to assist people with programs, etc. Listen to what Piers Morgan says.
If
Well,
you're
90%, 90% if whatever the figure is at the moment, but if 90% of the knife crime in this capital city right now is being conducted by young black gang members, what is wrong?
I'm not saying there is anything wrong. It has to be
young black youths who look like they might be in a gang.
You've got to accept that. You've got to make sure that young people are at the centre of what you're doing, and to ensure that you've got the community. You can't be seen as an occupying force.
You've got to accept that these young men are not fearful of the police anymore.
Can I?
Okay, so this is just a short clip. It is a racist white supremacist talking point. Stop and frisk is great because oh, you have to you pull them over. Only 5% of the people who are pulled over have anything on them. 95% don't. But what it does is it ends up criminalizing people by the way that they look. Piers Morgan is repeating racist white supremacist talking points. That's one. And like I said, I have not done a tremendous amount of research because I don't really know who Piers Morgan is because I'm not in Britain, right? I'm going to show you something else from Piers Morgan. I want you to take a look at this, right? So basically, remember the guy who had that argument with him that made Piers walk off the air? Apparently, this guy is the weatherman on Good Morning Britain or Good Day Britain, whichever it is, right? His name is called Alex Beresford, right? Or Beersford. I don't know how they pronounce it. You know, England, they be like, you see something that says Hampshire and they're like, Hampshire, you know? So let me just, I didn't get to cue this one up, right? So basically, let me give you the premise of what's going on in this clip. So Piers Morgan is talking. This woman looks so over Piers right now. So in this clip, Piers Morgan is talking with his co-host about some betting or
a bit of fun. They're taking
something that they're talking about some betting, something, right?
I was taking off in my wallet. I was like, if you blow your gasket,
you've got to be prepared to lose. Yeah.
If you blow your gasket, that's it. Right?
100%. I always do that at the casino. I take a certain amount.
You don't mind losing.
I'm prepared to lose it.
Yeah. So so basically they're talking about betting and how much money you can afford to lose. And then the multi-ethnic man, who's the weatherman, comes to speak up. Listen and look to see how Piers treats him, how he talks down to him. And the co-host said, well, if that was another person, you wouldn't have spoken to that person like that. Just take a look and listen. Let me put this on big for you. Let me put this on big. So let's continue going forward. Let's get up to because the way he spoke down to him, it was pretty much along the lines of shut up and dribble, the way that racist Laura Ingraham said to the basketball players here. Okay, so let's go back a little bit and see if it starts here.
A bullseye is 50, a grand, of course, is 1,000, and a deep sea diver, which.
Yeah, seriously, I'm really bored now.
You know what, mate? You're doing the weather, so why don't you keep your boredom to yourself? Your job is the weather today, right? And by the way, here's your entire forecast. It's going to be hot all week with a little bit of a thunderstorm.
Is that true?
Going home. If you have anything more to add, then let me know.
You've ruined it now. That's what I was looking forward to.
Look at a little drama queen. Go on, off you go. It's going to be hot with a couple of thunderstorms. But there's no need for him, is there? What's the point of him? What's the point of him? It's going to be hot all week, really hot, right? So here's the forecast. Hot all week with a few thunderstorms. That's it.
You're never like this with Laura. Why are you so rude?
He's not as annoying as he is.
Okay, so you heard that. You're not like this with Laura. Why is it that you treat Alex like this? Oh. You heard her, right? I mean, if you didn't, just go. I'm not rewinding it so you could hear it again because her voice sounded like something from a cartoon. I don't know if people really speak that way, but I don't know if she normally speaks that way. You're not this way with Laura. Calling him a drama queen. So these are some instances, right? So Black women, listen. if there is a person who is racially problematic, right? They're saying racially problematic things, and you have a friend who is friends with that person saying racially problematic things, they condone it. Sheryl Underwood is calling Sharon Osbourne her friend. I mean, you all know who Sharon Osbourne is, right? I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the show back in the days, but I remember the vulgarities that were coming out of that household. And I remember seeing clips of Sharon screaming down at her daughter. Her daughter had like red, purple hair. She was a little heavyset at the time. And I remember Sharon screaming down at her daughter. And her daughter was like, Mommy, and running off and stuff. And it was just a mess, right? What is it? Well, come on now. This woman was married, is or was married to Ozzy Osbourne. You remember, for those of you who don't know, let me just show you all real quick. Sheryl Underwood was married to Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne was some rock and roll, problematic, drunk, high off his behind rock and roller who had this reality show with Sharon Osbourne. Let me show you just some of the what this man looked like. Let's remove this from this screen and then add another clip. Let me just show you what he looks like and how they used to get down. This is her husband. I'm going to play a clip for you from because Holly Robinson Peete decided. So this is her husband. This is her husband. That's Sheryl Underwood's husband. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, Sharon Osbourne's husband. Right? That's her husband right there. This is him. He was highly problematic in the past, acting high and drunk. See, that's her right there with her man, right? Or her ex-man. I don't know if they're still together. That must be the daughter. She's all grown up now. I remember when she was little and she was on there crying. Her mother was haranguing her, talking about her weight. This is her husband. That's her husband. So from what it is that I have heard while researching this story, Sharon Osbourne has said problematic things about people who participate in same-sex relationships. Let's play a little bit for you all, right? Oh, wow. Sharon is still married to Ozzy and has managed his career and a whole family of miscreants for years. Taffeta saying he looked a hot mess. He used to bite the heads off of what? Are you serious? Pretty is saying that man was high on every episode. Listen. Let's continue. Let's listen. Was he really biting the heads off of bats? Who would support this? And she's married to this person kissing on his bat biting mouth? Come on now. Creature killing mouth? No. Let's get something else up on the screen. The Holly Robinson Peete. So, Jessica I think her name is Jessica Gilbert, I believe it is. The one who played the daughter in Roseanne. She came out as being a same-sex loving person. And here we go. Sharon Osbourne. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I have these in order, but let's see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the screen for you all, but I have a lot of tabs open because there were a lot of videos we needed to watch today. So let me close some of the tabs that we've already gone through. Holly Robinson Peete, here it is. Sheryl Underwood, Holly Robinson Peete. Here.
So Holly left the show after season 1. And she tweeted on Saturday, "I'm old enough to remember when Sharon complained that I was too ghetto for the talk, then I was gone. I bring this up now because I was mortified watching the disrespectful, condescending tone she took for their co-host, who remained calm and respectful because she had to."
Yeah, now Sharon replied by posted an email that Holly sent to her in 2011 after Holly left the show. Holly wrote that she missed Sharon a lot, and Sharon added in a tweet, "Never in my life did I utter the words that Holly was too ghetto to be on the talk, as well as not having her fired."
Oh my goodness. Sharon also told Variety over the weekend that the debate over her support for Piers Morgan came out of nowhere. She says, I was blindsided, totally blindsided by the whole situation. In my 11 years, this was the first time I was not involved with the planning of the segment. I'm a big girl. I'm a professional. However, CBS blindsided me. I don't.
Okay, so so basically in this clip, let me close this so that we can open up a new tab, because there's something else that I want you all to hear. So basically, Holly Robinson Pete says that Sharon said that Osbourne, there's too many SHs in this segment. Sarah Gilbert, the daughter who played, what was her name? The middle child on it. Because remember, there was DJ, the boy, and then there was the blonde daughter who was the firstborn, and then the middle child with the dark, long hair. What was her name? I forget. She's in a same-sex relationship right now, and she says that Osbourne said homophobic stuff to her that that those hosts there could not repeat on air. Holly Robinson Pete said that Osbourne said that she was too ghetto for the show. Why are you writing her a letter talking about I miss you? See, this is why I couldn't get down with the Hollywood fakeness, because there's a lot of fakeness going on in Hollywood. And see, so this came back to bite her in the butt. You're going to call a person, said that they said these things about you and got you fired, and then you writing them a letter talking about you missed them. See? Don't do it to yourself, sisters. Don't do it. If somebody's problematic, if they have a problematic friend who's concerning and racist and they're condoning it, you make your decision about whether or not you want that person in your life by proxy. So let's go into the next thing that we have to cover, which is Sharon Osbourne responding to the claims, right? And I want you to hear how she deflects. I want you to hear how she deflects and doesn't accept responsibility. She doesn't accept responsibility for how she participated in her getting there.
Came from an unknown top exec at CBS.
I finished saying what I'm saying, and then Sheryl asked me these questions, which I didn't know, and they were written questions, and then Elaine's reading her questions.
Stand up for anti-racism.
And I'm like, I've been set up.
I've been set up.
Because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. And I went like, how dare you all do this to me? I'm your sacrificial lamb. So in the break, I'm like, talk to me, Sheryl. Talk to me. What is going on? She wouldn't. I lost it even further.
Do you regret how things spun out of control with Sheryl?
Regret? Oh my God.
Listen.
She was my friend of nearly 11 years.
Listen to this part. This part was funny to me. This part, when she says what happened when she reached out.
What do you want to say to Sheryl?
I love Sheryl. I've apologized to Sheryl. She's not gotten back. And I can understand Sheryl needs her time. I got too personal with Sheryl. I should never have said about her tears. I should never have dismissed her feelings on national TV. Ever. But I said it. I have to own it. And I was so angry. I cannot begin to tell you, not with Sheryl, not with Elaine, not with anybody, but a company that I've worked at for 11 years.
What was the goal, do you think? What was the goal?
Because I think that CBS was so horrified with Piers for the things he was saying. Because remember, Harry and Meghan, it's the CBS interview. I had sided with Piers, so it's the cancel culture, isn't it? Throw her under the bus.
Really? So she was thrown under the bus.
The comments are-
She was thrown under the bus. This is what she's saying. She was thrown under the bus. She's the sacrificial lamb. And the rest of the show, they were talking about, oh, I don't think she's going to be able to bounce back, blah, blah, blah. And so let's see what else we have here. There's a few more clips that I want to show you, and then we're just going to talk. Let's see. We showed this clip already. Okay. There was one more clip that I wanted to show you where Sheryl, where Osbourne came out and was just talking about how this whole thing and et cetera, et cetera. You all said somebody read her rights. Who is it that you said? Yeah, look at Yolanda. She's the victim now, poor Sharon. I'm so sick of their caucasity. Listen. It's the quick anger for me, says Beijing. The quick anger for me, big giveaway. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a lot of things that there are a lot of pieces to this, a lot of moving pieces. And so my thing for you all is, if you're going to call a person a racist, be able to show them. You don't have to explain to them what racism is. Yes, they need to educate themselves on what racism is, but let's not deflect and contort what Osbourne was asking. And I think that it's important for us to be able to have those concrete, evidential inserts where we can say, this is what this person did that is racially problematic. Because if you want to call a person out, you have to be able to speak up. And if Piers is the type of person, because, people are not going to automatically say, oh, I'm a racist, or say racist things, but they can have a lack of patience, lack of tolerance for a person who has some Black in them. They can have speak in a condescending way. So you can have respect for everybody else, but all of a sudden, when it comes to certain people, all of a sudden you're speaking down to them. All of a sudden, just read the weather, man, or get off. You're not needed here. When you have a lack of patience, lack of tolerance, you're talking down to you, being disrespectful to people who have one thing in common. And the thing about it is, Alex Beresford, you all say that he's biracial. What's this young lady's name? Who became the Duchess of Sussex? What's her name? Gosh, the one who got kicked out with Harry. What's her name? It's not Kate. What's her name? What is her name? Why is her name slipped my mind? I can't remember her name. The woman who married Harry. Well, the Duchess of Sussex is biracial. If he has all of this animus and anger towards people who are partially Black, but he has tolerance and happiness for people who are blonde or blue-eyed and all of this other stuff, the proof is right there in the pudding. And if you don't have enough concrete proof, right? Yes, Meghan Markle. Thank you. I don't know why her name was slipping my tongue. Thank you. If a person is constantly short-tempered with people of color, do you have to sit around waiting for them to announce, well, I do declare I am a racist? Do you need for them to announce it? And if there's a person who is a friend with a person who says problematic things, and you can point out those problematic things that they have said, and you have to make the decision about whether or not you still want to be this quote unquote person's friend. You know what I mean? And that is my... Piers is jealous of the weatherman because he's handsome, and Piers looks like an old piece of turkey bacon. Why must you be this way? You are so silly. He looks like a piece of turkey bacon. Why are you saying that? Oh, gosh, you all are so silly sometimes. So listen. Beijing is saying he is a hypocrite. He wanted the social ties to build him up from being associated with Meghan. She saw through him and dropped his falseness. He's mad that I showed you all the video where Meghan ghosted him. A writer came out supporting Holly's claims. And you all also said that there was somebody who read Sharon for filth. Where is that link? Why has nobody sent me that link? Huh? TanyaTKO.com, click on contact, send me the link so that we can discuss it. I should have told you all to send it to me earlier so that we could queue it up right now. As a matter of fact, let me look inside of my thing right now so that we can see if we could play. Is it vulgar? Because if it's vulgar, then we probably can't play it on YouTube. But we shall look and see. I'm looking in my inbox right now. I do not see a message from a person with, who did you say it was? Let me look it up right now. Who did you all say read Sharon Osbourne, The Riot Act. Amanda Seales. Let's take a look and see if we can find something from Amanda Seales. Give me a second. I don't know which one it'll be since we're live on the air, and we're just going to try to find something, right? Amanda Seales, Sharon Osbourne. Osbourne. I was born in Osbourne. Amanda Seales talks about Sharon Osbourne. Okay, 6 minutes. All right, let's see. Okay, let's take a look. We'll pull this up on the air. Okay. Let me get this. Give me 1 second.
It was just brought to my attention that Kevin Frazier.
All right, let's see. Give me 1 second. I thought I saw, when I came back to the screen, I thought I saw a little clip of, it's not the right earpiece, a little clip of whatchamacallit. This is not the right earpiece. This is the right one. Okay, let's take a look and see what we have here. Let's go back a little bit and see what that little bit of writing was. Let's see, what is this? Kevin Frazier, at some point we will have to reach a point where we can sit together and have tough conversations about race. Okay, let's continue playing. You can pause that and read it.
So it was just brought to my attention that Kevin Frazier interviewed this cretin, Sharon Osbourne, and gave her a softball interview, just not asking her any real hard questions about the allegations that are taking place, and decided in his caption when he posted on Instagram to tag myself, Holly Robinson Pete, and Sheryl Underwood in an effort to have a kumbaya teaching moment for this trash ass woman who doesn't even feel like she needs to abide by the basic laws of civility, let alone in a professional setting. And I'm wondering why do so many brothers, particularly in this entertainment business, feel the need to lay their coat down across troubled waters to help these white folks who don't give a fuck about us? First of all, it is not the responsibility of Black folks to educate white folks on how they cannot be trash ass folks. Okay? They fucking made up racism. Why the fuck we got to teach you how to not be racist? To expect us to do that and to, as a Black person, try and rally up folks into that space is, one, just foolish and also not respectful of our time and of our energy.
I don't got the time. I'm on my trampoline.
And on another level, completely devoid of any consideration for the fact that Sheryl and Holly have been at the brunt of this woman's racist bullshit. So basically, you're asking victims to come and have a nice little sit down with their attacker so that this bitch can feel better? No, we are not on the rehabilitate white people train. That is not what our energy is for. There is no stimulus check for our time.
Time is slipping away from me. Yeah.
There are real issues going on out here. Okay. There is a whole political system and infrastructure based on racism, and y'all got us fucked up if you think that it is of our priority to put any energy, I can't even talk, I'm so irritated, to put any energy into helping save the public character of this British woman. She ain't even from here. Okay. You didn't even go here. So Kevin Frazier, I hope you will do me a favor and check yourself in the mirror. Go call Don Lemon, who learned, you know what? I'm better with my people, and came over and rocked with us and continues to do so in a real way.
The president's legacy will be Not the most masculine president, but the biggest loser we have ever had as president.
I want you to consider how backwards it is that you and your producers felt it important to provide a platform for this disingenuous, lying-ass, treacherous broad, instead of creating a safe space for those who have had to feel the effects of her attacks, of her lunacy, of her loose-ass lips. That is what your energy should be given to. Not protecting her. Remove the cape. And don't tag me the next time you put it on. Racist white people bother me. They frustrate me. They disgust me. But let me tell y'all, Black folks who be about just, Messa, what can I do to make you feel good, Messa? If you sick, I sick. That does something else to me. It disappoints me from my soul to my ancestry. It makes my body tighten up. It brings a rumble in my spirit.
How much more of this is there?
And I want to return to my peace.
All right. Well, you know what? You all can probably go and finish watching that on your own. I mean, I can see why some of you resonated with that. This is my first time seeing it. I don't really have a prepared statement. Some of you are saying that she's biracial. Some of you are saying she's not biracial. All right. I don't even know what else to say. Honestly. I mean, the issue, look, I hear what it is that she's saying. I hear what she's saying. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know who she is. Some of you, I see you all saying she's a mixed race Caribbean woman. I don't rock with her, but she has some points. It's not relevant. I did not feel anything at all. Marcy said, thank you, Tanya. Amanda makes me feel tired personally. I did begin to feel a little bit tired with all of the screaming and stuff, right? But I mean, some people like her. Kevin Frazier, loyalties compromise. You're saying, Tanya, I don't know, how do you feel about it? While she was talking, I went and looked up her parents. One of her parents is from Grenada. Her father's African American, so that really doesn't talk about what race she's mixed with. We can look at her and see that she's not Negroid. And I'm afraid to say that out loud because it seems like people want so badly for everybody to be Negroid. And I understand that we have the Eve gene, and in this particular context, people are saying that her race is not relevant. I feel like there are so many different conversations going on right now. And she's responding back because she was tagged in it. Sheryl Underwood is a dark-skinned Black woman who did not have or did not feel that she had the freedom and agency to be able to or maybe didn't feel she had the freedom and agency to do more than what she actually did on the talk. She just sat there and was like, I don't even know what to say. This woman is hollering at me. She's saying, I don't have the capacity to cry, and all this other stuff, right? And then we have a very loud, very vocal spokesperson who is now coming out, and everybody's like, oh, go take a look at her videos. And you go there and you see a obviously mixed race person. And I don't know. I don't have an educated response to all of this. I really don't. I feel like there are so many people swept into the dustpan of Blackness that there are many different voices being amplified. And I don't know. I would have loved to have heard from a dark-skinned Black woman really pontificating the point. I would have loved for dark-skinned Black women to feel that they have the capacity to emote and to express emotion and follow up on this situation. Listen, and the thing is, and listen, I know what I'm saying is not politically correct, because everybody wants you to be like, oh, come here, let's all hug and let's all, pretend like we're the same. And I don't know. I don't want to take the focus off of the conversation. And I want dark-skinned Black women to be able to speak up right now and to be given the floor and the platform to let their voices be heard. I'm happy that people are rallying behind Sheryl Underwood. I am happy that people are protecting a Black woman, that people are coming out and speaking. However, there was this thing that happened in the natural hair community, where Black women who have been told their hair is ugly for so long come out. And like some of you out there who have raised Negroid daughters, you know what it's like when your daughters don't know what their hair texture is like. And when they come of age, they're like, oh, I am going to grow my hair out, or I'm going to do this and that to my hair. When I was 17, because my mother had started putting a process in my hair from when I was very young. When I was 17, I decided to go natural. And I thought that when I went natural, that my hair would look like Freddie from A Different World. That's what I thought. I thought my hair would look like hers. And I grew it out and it didn't look like hers. My hair was tightly coiled. And I didn't see a representation of what my hair looked like as beautiful in the media. I didn't. And so what happened in the natural hair movement is, Black women with our natural hair came forward. And then we allowed a person to give a rating system on the hair. Some of you will be like, oh, I have 4C hair. But did you know that there's a 1A? So 1A starts with straight. And in the natural hair movement, we got categorized as then 4C, 4 being down the tightest coiled. So European hair was the 1, Negroid hair was the 4, with varied degrees from 2, 3, 4, and then you had A, B, C with the looser, tighter coils. And so what ended up happening is that the look and the voice of women in the natural hair movement who had the looser and looser coil until, some of you were a part of the natural hair Facebook group, and until white women started coming in and started showing their natural hair, and the movement just completely changed. And they were like, why can't I come and show my natural hair? This is my natural hair. Why isn't everybody allowed? And then Black women were fighting for the white women to come in and be able to proudly show her natural hair, and white women who had big curls. Like, remember Felicity, the show back in the 90s? Or the early 2000s, with hair like Felicity, and like, I've always been ashamed of my curls. And so in this particular instance, what it is that I see is Sheryl Underwood was attacked by this white woman. And other women have come forward. Gina Ashefor came forward. Yashe Fere came forward. And Shola spoke out. But the one that you all are really promoting is this woman, a mixed race woman with fluffy hair, and saying, oh, she's Black because her parents are Black, when we know that many Black people ourselves are mixed. You know what I mean? It only says her mother's from Grenada, her father's African American. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this personally, because I'm caught on the spot having to come up with commentary for something that I'm just seeing for the first time and trying to process the feeling that I have about it. when our dark-skinned Black women, I don't want to take the floor away from dark-skinned Black women to be able to speak up, because the issue here is Sheryl Underwood and this attack, and how Sheryl Underwood could not speak up for herself. And so now other people are now entering the arena, and we're like, yeah, applauding, because, and I have a feeling that there are other voices who have come out and were just as angry. And I have a feeling that those other voices were not amplified, that those other voices have been doused and not really brought to the forefront. And it's like, we have this issue among us. And it's like, how do we expect for Caucasoids not to have this issue when we have this issue where we feel that where we accept certain people, the anger of certain people to be pushed forward, and we accept that and we're okay with that. But even us ourselves, we consider certain things to be pretty, and we're like, well, I'm that. It's just like in the doll test where you ask which one is the bad doll, which one is this, which one is that, and they're pointing to the black doll, they're pointing to the black doll and pointing, and then they're like, well, which one do you look like? And the child is like, which one do I look like? And some children pointed towards the white doll, right? Some were like, black doll, right? But the thing is that we see a person who is obviously not Negroid, and we're like, that's me. And no, it's not you. It's not. And that's fine. That's fine. However, I just want us to be real about what it is that we're seeing and hearing, because it all matters, and we have got to create a way for dark-skinned Black women to be able to speak up about their experience and give them the floor to speak up and listen and hear them and shower them with love and acceptance and open arms, and continue to give them the platform, continue to give them the floor. And if there are no Black women who feel comfortable coming up and taking the floor, that we implore them and we empower them. And if we need to bring them forward and amplify and bring our presence, our popularity, to be able to bring them forward and say, please speak, and allow them to speak. That's how I feel about it, just off the cuff. I appreciate all of the voices who come out, but I feel like we need to be able to leave the megaphone open for dark-skinned Black women to speak up and to be able to really express and emote how it is that it truly, truly feels to be in this position, because there's several conversations happening here. Like I said, there's the one with Sharon Osbourne lambasting and gaslighting and hollering at this dark-skinned Black woman, and that dark-skinned Black woman probably not feeling like she had the agency to speak up. And now on the tail end of it, so there are two simultaneous conversations about racism, and there are lots of people who experience racism of many different complexions. And so, yes, people, so I don't know. And see, so this is what I'm saying. It's like the argument is going on. And this is part of the reason that I'm just like, you know what, let me just take my exit right here, because it's still controversial. And it's like people in other countries, it's like the pain that we have had in this country, that it's almost an insult to speak honestly about a person being mixed race. It's like, you're mixed race. There's nothing wrong. There's not an insult. It just is what it is, you know. But the pain that we have in this country with the one drop rule, it's like we won't let go of it, and we won't allow people to really fully see. Part of the issue is we won't allow people to really fully embrace all sides of who it is that they are. We won't allow them to embrace. And what we have is people entering into the conversation and saying, well, I'm the same as you. You're the same as me, right? Their voices are amplified. And what ends up happening is that same 4C, that same dark skin, that same one that's down at the bottom continues to stay at the bottom and continues to get pushed further down. And so while we're all saying that we're the same, I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see complexion, right? One sector is continuously being pushed down and not heard and not seen and not represented, and represented in only such a way. And other voices are amplified, highlighted, promoted, put forward. And then just like multi-race or mixed race women became the face of the natural hair movement. And then the 4 C's were down at the bottom. And then because they allowed everyone to come in, then they had to create their own smaller 4C movement. So now there are Facebook groups coming up specifically for 4 type hair. And it's like, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts about it. I want to hear your thoughts about it. And there's someone who's hollering, Amanda Seales is Black, when we can obviously see she's mixed race. I mean, our eyes are not lying to us. The woman is not Negroid. She's not Negroid, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no insult in her not being Negroid. There's no insult. Where's the insult in her not being Negroid? She's not Negroid. That's very simple. This is look. She's not Negroid. She's not Negroid, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And Erica is saying, can a light-skinned Black person from the diaspora speak up? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I don't want the conversation to be overrun. I don't want the conversation to be overrun by a certain phenotype. And then the conversation then goes, because certain phenotypes have the ability to be able to speak up and scream their curse words and still be seen as feminine or whatnot. And certain phenotypes have had the floor to be able to talk up, etc. I just want other phenotypes to be able, the phenotype that this was directed at, to be able to have the capacity to do the same, and have the people who have a certain level of privilege amplify those voices instead of using their privilege to speak up themselves. I don't even know if I'm saying what makes sense. Okay. So I will jump out of here. So Danny is angry about something. You said mixed race Black people should use their privileges to combat this issue, but when they do, you talk shit. What shit am I talking? This is not shit. We're having an educated discussion. And I don't know if you feel that there's any type of animus here. That's a projection. You're obviously using profanity and going through something personally. Like I said, use your privilege to help amplify the voices that are not heard. And I'm not saying that this woman should not have spoken up. It's like, if you don't take the time to listen and you're just typing feverishly with whatever problematic attitudes you have because of whatever it is that you're going through personally, and you don't listen, you make yourself look foolish, because I've already said she was tagged. She has every right to speak up. What I'm talking about is the overabundance of us now gravitating towards this one message and not amplifying the other voices to which this directly has been addressed, or directly lashed out towards. Sharon Osbourne lashed out about this whole thing, and the dynamic that existed on that stage is that the women of color that she was talking to, the woman of color and the Black woman she was talking to, really didn't have the capacity, or didn't feel, or maybe not have felt the capacity that they had the right to speak up. I want to hear a dark-skinned Black woman. I want dark-skinned Black women's voices to be amplified. We will not, as women, as women of color, as Black women, we will not be free until dark-skinned Black women are free. We will not be equal until dark-skinned Black women are equal. We will not be until the quote unquote lower or lesser or least represented of us is represented equally. We will not be. And so I want to hear, when I can hear a dark-skinned Black woman scream and emote and express without the backlash of, oh, you just get the police to tase her, or, oh, you're frightening, or, oh, you're an angry Black woman. When we can get that to happen, then I'll be like, oh, let all voices, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, until that happens, we have got to create more and more spaces. We have got to promote. We have got to push forward, all of us. Because I went to that clip because there were so many of us that were talking about that clip. However, where is the clip? Show me a clip of a dark-skinned Black woman emoting anger and a woman, Sheryl Underwood's complexion or darker, having the freedom to be able to emote that emotion and be able to have it receive accolade. That's what I want. That's what I would like. Show me that video. I will share the video later. Show me the video of a dark-skinned Black woman who has gone viral, emoting and expressing her anger in this situation. Why is it that those videos have not gone viral? Why is it that we're not sharing those videos? Why is it that we ourselves are still uncomfortable unless a message is coming out of a certain vessel? And I'm sure you can understand what it is that I'm saying. And if you can't, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. And if there is anybody who, oh, somebody's saying Viola Davis spoke on it. All right, let's hear from Viola Davis. Let's hear. Was she able to express and emote her anger? This is what I'm saying, because I can only imagine that Viola Davis was probably very calm and having to be very politically correct about it. I'll look it up right now. Why not? I'll look it up right now. Viola Davis, Sharon Osbourne. Let's see. The Talk, Viola Davis, Diana Madison, Chef Marcella. Sharon Osbourne says she has a long way to go in learning. Sharon Osbourne accused of racist and homophobe. Where's the Viola Davis? Viola Davis becomes Oscar-nominated Black actress. I'll show you what it is that I'm looking at, because I'm looking and I don't see. I did a search for her name and I don't see it. So I'm looking. You see where I wrote up here, Viola Davis, Sharon Osbourne. So maybe I'll type in Sheryl Underwood then. Sheryl Underwood. All right. Images for Viola Davis and Sheryl Underwood. So A Tearful Cicely Tyson mentoring Viola Davis. The Talk, Viola Davis. I'll make this larger for you so you can see. I don't see it here. Sheryl Underwood Instagram. Sheryl. So did it go viral? Did it go viral? Did it go viral? We just searched for it. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. All right. And oh, Lord. Danny, you're not going to stay on my page much longer. If you think I'm laughable, honey, nobody is trying to diagnose you. Look, I'll show you her comment. You're crying for attention right now. I usually love Tanya, spelled with a lowercase t. I usually love Tanya's views, which is why I'm here. This time I disagree. Her trying to diagnose me via YouTube comments is beyond laughable. If you think my heartfelt message to you, little sis, is laughable and some sort of diagnosis, you're obviously projecting. This is not a diagnosis. A diagnosis is something from the DSM-4. Now that you mention it, We don't know what type of mental health issues you may be suffering from. That's not what this is about. I'm talking to you about your projection. And if you think that it's laughable and if you think that that's appropriate, this is not the right place for you. We welcome people to have conversations. But when we start attacking people, talking about you're laughable, this is laughable, you're trying to diagnose me, this, that, and the other, it becomes a bit much. It becomes a bit much. I don't know if this is the type of attention that you're craving or what is going on. I know that I run a self-love channel, and I know that there are a lot of people who have varied degrees of self-love issues, self-abuse that are going on in the background. People who were raised, we talked about this, raised in households where their mothers were histrionic and their mothers were manipulative and had narcissistic tendencies. And then we come out with those tendencies. And so this is why I say we all need to have ourselves looked at, especially if you were raised in a house with emotional abuse. And so that's the last of attention that I'm going to give there. Right. And I'm going to, and I'm trying not to block this young lady. I'm trying not to block her because I want people to be able to speak and have conversations, right? I don't want to block this young lady. So let me just ignore. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me do this. YouTube has timeouts. Let me just put this young lady in timeout and just go from there. By the time she comes out of timeout, we'll be off the air. It's as simple as that. Some people just are so desperate for some form of attention and validation that they even negative attention is okay for them because they get the chance to shine or have their comment, read aloud and go down in history and infamy, for things that just, it's like if you have comprehension issues, that's not a diagnosis, though. Obviously you have comprehension issues. You can't comprehend when people are speaking. Tommy is saying Danny is young and naive. There's something going on, but that is none of our concern right now. Viola Davis, I said nothing. Don't listen to these trolls. These people want you to uplift biracial and white people and talk down on your own skin color. Listen, Marcus is saying Tanya is speaking fact. The respectability politics needs to stop. I'm fed up of white fragility and white centrism being used to silence Black women. Thank you. And not only that, we have Black women who will fight to the tooth, to the bone to defend Miss Missy. I mean, you saw like in Gone with the Wind, we identify so much with our masters and mistresses that we will do anything to make sure that they are exalted. I remember in Gone with the Wind, the plantation didn't have money because the war was coming. And so people were becoming freed, right, from the enslavement that they were under. And there were Black people who were on this plantation with the Scarlett O'Hara character who were like, we are going to do what we need to do to make sure that Miss Missy looks beautiful, even though the plantation has no money, because they felt that her looking beautiful was a reflection on them since they were property, etc. And they took the curtains from the windows and made her some velvet dress. The dress looked a hot damn mess to me, but that was the best that they felt that they could do, with no budget. And they felt a sense of pride, just like prostitutes feel a sense of pride in how good their pimp looks. And for far too often, Black women have been so deeply pimped that we don't realize how much we identify with uplifting and holding up the precious image of Miss Missy, even though she craps on you. Listen, let me get out of here. Won't you be my neighbor? I'm taking off my socks and shoes right now, freeing myself. Listen, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for coming out and having this conversation with me. We had a very deep and depth conversation that branched off into many different areas where we got a chance to discuss a lot of different things. If you're coming to this video after the fact, I'd love to hear your thoughts and points of view below. 600 people on this broadcast, go ahead and throw up those thumbs up. I heard that other content creators hold the thing hostage until they get enough cash apps and donations in. Oh, wow. Speaking of which, somebody blessed my Cash App today. Goodness Rated Bo sent $103 for no, thank you, Miss TKO. $103. That's dope. Let me send you some love back. Thank you. And Latasha said, yes, he bites the heads off of live bats. Sent $5. That is disgusting. How could the animal rights people let this go on? How could they? Thank you so much for the Cash Apps. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you all for bearing with me when we had those technical difficulties earlier. And thank you for bearing with me through troll comments, Little Sisters mad comments, people defending Miss Missy comments, and confused people exalting something that is not in their best interest comments. On that note, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you, Latasha. Thank you, Rated Bo. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Oh, the closing. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is speaking up and advocating for yourself and creating a space where your emotions are normalized. All emotions, anger, happiness, sadness, grief, all of it. People think we don't feel these emotions because we don't emote them. And we're always having to be the strong, stoic one standing up in public. Our child is gone and we're standing up there, with a bone dry face, and other people are crying when their damn spaghetti runs out of sauce. Ugh. On that note, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you get my book, The Book of Affirmation Self-Love, which is available on my website right now for it, and they will be autographed. So Amazon is having their issues, but you can get them on my website. I typically don't sell them this long on my website, but because Amazon is having issues, I want you to all be able to get it somewhere. The link to my website is in the description of this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.